man and woman. Nation's capital, so we standing tall. It's the city of the Zuma, for Poopa and Numa. Nation's capital, so we standing tall. There is freedom, no segregation. Welcome to the city of my president.
Hello, good morning. Thanks for joining us. You're welcome to another episode of your weekly General TV magazine program, Dateline Abuja, on African Independent Television, AIT. My name is Hawa Momo. Well, on our lineup today, we start with updates from the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Nilds. Well, members of Nilds and delegation from the National Assembly Commission warmly received Right Honorable Speaker of Ghana, Alban Bagbin, members of delegates from Ghana, member staff, Parliamentary Board of Ghana, which is also equivalent to the National Assembly here in Nigeria, for the purpose of sharing knowledge, ideas, experience, and also learning from Nilds. The Right Honorable Speaker of Ghana, Alban Bagbin, spoke concerning the Parliamentary Board in comparison to Nigeria's Division of Labour approach, commending them and showing interest in learning from the National Assembly on parliamentary matters.
On the 11th of December 2022, the Right Honourable Speaker of Ghana, Alban Bagbin, members of delegates from Ghana, members, staff, Parliamentary Board of Ghana, and entourage visited Nigeria for the purpose of sharing knowledge, ideas, experience, and learning from the National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies. The Right Honourable Speaker of Ghana, Alban Bagbin, who came on study visit, commended the National Assembly for their mode of operations and declared interest in learning from the National Assembly on parliamentary matters.
The board is a creation of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, and the board has been tasked by the Constitution to legislate and craft some regulations which will lead to the effective and efficient administration of the parliamentary service. And those legislations are also to prescribe the terms and conditions of service of employers and employees of the service, and to provide generally for the effective administration of the parliamentary service in Ghana. Ours is quite a generalist. We have the board doing a lot of things. We're happy that since our arrival, we've seen that what we do as one board is shared by a lot of institutions here in Nigeria. For example, we at the board are also responsible to control and manage the affairs of the whole service and deal with things like recruitment, promotion, welfare of members of parliament, staff, and we are also tasked with maintaining the dignity of the whole institution of parliament. That is just this board alone. This is not the case here, and it's refreshing learning this from our colleagues here. I am very, very confident that at the end of the day, what we will learn from you will actually assist us to improve service delivery, not only in Parliament, but also to the good people of Ghana. There is no other place to learn than this peer review mechanism. We are having the same conditions, we have the same background, either from creation or history or whatever. Some colonial people were here. They met us, were very better developed, and they destroyed it and started reconstructing and insulting us that they are better than us. I don't believe in that. And my learning showed that we're far ahead of them, you know. And I hope that if we are able to work together within the shortest possible time, we'll be able to surmount the challenges they have imposed on us. In any case, whether they like it or not, in future, Africa will be the continent that will lead the world. With this, I want to thank you for coming. May the good Lord continue to bless you. Thank you so much.
Still on Nilds, the Director General of Nilds, Professor Abubakar O. Suleiman, welcomed the Right Honorable Speaker of Ghana, Alban Bagbin, for his study visit in Nigeria, commending the National Assembly Service Commission and its chairman, Engineer Ahmed Kadi Amshi, for always ensuring that bilateral relationships with other African countries are being nurtured. The DG Nilds spoke on Nigerian legislature as a key organ of government, emphasizing that without legislature, there is no democracy.
The Director General of Nilds, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, commended the National Assembly Service Commission, NASC, and its chairman, Engineer Ahmed Kadi Amshi, for maintaining relationships with other African countries and welcomed the Right Honorable Speaker of Ghana, Alban Bagbin, for re-study visit in Nigeria. The Director General Nilds spoke on legislature as key organ of government, emphasizing that without legislature, there is no democracy.
Coming today is our homecoming. It's not new to you. So we are most delighted to have you again, delegation from the Office of Speaker of Ghana and Ghana Parliamentary Service Board, for finding Nigeria again worthy of visiting on a study visit. And I wish to commend the National Assembly Service Commission under the able chairmanship, our brother Engineer Kadi Amsa, for his vision and versatility in ensuring that the kind of bilateral relationship we have with other countries in Africa is being nurtured. We commend your efforts, sir. Ghana and Nigeria, we have similar history. In the area of independence, Ghana senior Nigeria. But in the area of size, population, resources, potentials, we are trying to see how to take the lead. But one unique thing about the two countries is that there is no clear-cut delineation in terms of culture, in terms of religion, in terms of ethnicity, in terms of history, in terms of nationality between the two countries. You go to Ghana today, you see a lot of Yorubas everywhere. You see the Hausas everywhere. And therefore, if there's any, in the last 2 weeks, one day that I felt so bad was the day Ghana was defeated during the World Cup. Because when Nigeria was not there and Ghana was there, we thought at least we are there. The Nigerian legislature is a key organ of government, as you all know. And we keep on emphasizing one thing, that without legislature, there is no democracy. Key to democracy in any clime is the legislature. You can have executive and judiciary. When you have executive and judiciary, that does not suggest democracy. After all, when the military comes, they disband every other structure and the legislature. But they keep intact the judiciary and the executive. So the only signs to show that there's democracy in place is where you have the parliament in place. And on account of years of military interregnum over the years, the expectation from Nigerian legislature, of African legislature, in terms of skill, in terms of legislations, in terms of the ability, capacity to oversight and represent the people, has not been there. As the speaker rightly pointed out, you can be carpenter, you can be professors. The working of legislation requires specialized, knowledge. it requires specialized skills. When you don't have it, you don't have it. You can be a professor in the university, but when it comes to coming to the parliament, you must learn. So 2 things are required. Learning, in terms of training. Capacity and experience. And we are saying over the years, the capacity has not been there on account of the incessant military intervention in African politics. At every time they struck, they got the structure, they got the organ of government suspended. We lack the rudiments, we lack the continuity, we lack the capacity on how to legislate, how to make law, how to represent, and how to, conduct oversight. And because of that, instability, therefore, the experience expected of parliamentarians has not been there. And when it's not there for parliamentarians, it's not there for the parliamentary staff too. So when you talk of dividends of democracy in Africa, we have a short change on account of our own internal political crisis. As Riley said, it's not about colonialists, not about the imperialists, but what we have forced on us too as a people. So if democracy must thrive going forward, if our people as Africa must develop, if the most average shares of the dividends of democracy, everything must be done to ensure the sanctity of the legislature.
In commemoration of Professor Abubakar Sulaiman, the Senate President Hamad Lawan reappoints him as Director General of National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Nilds. The Director General of Nilds, Professor Abubakar O. Sulaiman, has been reappointed for another 4-year term by the President of the Senate and Chairman of Nilds' Governing Council, Ahmad Lawan, in consultation with the Speaker of the House of Representatives and alternate Chairman of Nilds' Governing Council, Right Honourable Femi Gbajabiamila. The announcement was conveyed in a statement released on Friday in Abuja by the Deputy Director of Information, Communication and Protocol at Nilds, Mrs. Joke Akinsomi. The reappointment of Professor Sulaiman will take effect from May 28, 2023, and the President of the Senate has congratulated him while urging him to continue working towards achieving the core objectives of the Institute as outlined in Sections 2 and 3 of the Institutions Act as amended. From all of us at Dateline Abuja and crew, we say congratulations to you, sir.